Good evening, everyone. A longtime political operative for House Speaker Glen Casada may soon have to write a check to taxpayers for hours where he got paid but didn't show up for work.
Despite that, Nashville's DA says for now there's nothing for him to investigate. And our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, discovered that even if the DA changes his mind, a key piece of evidence may have already been destroyed. Phil.
Well, guys, Michael Lotfy resigned 2 weeks ago after our investigation first revealed that Casada had given him a lucrative state job with no requirement that he work out of the legislature's offices, submit a formal time card, or even work 40 hours a week. So far, no one seems interested in investigating whether state law was broken. Michael Lotfy is a 28-year-old political operative who worked behind the scenes to help Glen Casada elect Republicans, who would in turn help him get elected as House Speaker.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jeff.
After taking office, Casada rewarded Lotfy with a state job, paying him nearly $50,000 a year with no state office, no state phone, and until last month, no state email. Faced with those questions, Lotfy resigned, taking to talk radio 3 days later to defend himself.
Unfortunately, there was a situation where, Phil Williams had ran a story that set up a narrative but never really provided the opportunity to provide documentation counter to that narrative. And so, there are records that show like, hey, I'm not available this day.
In fact, the state says Lotfy created that documentation, timesheets for 5 months, and submitted them the same day that he resigned, showing days where he now admits he was not available but got paid anyway. Among them, this day in February where his girlfriend's Instagram depicts a ski trip to Colorado, and this day in March in Lake Tahoe.
Did you have to declare a sick day?
No, so I just...
Vacation day?
Yeah, vacation day, like, hey, I'm not going to be paid this day. Like, I'm not here available to work for the speaker, exactly, yeah.
Now legislative staff is going back over Lotfy's newly submitted timesheets to look at those days where he himself shows he was not available, to calculate how much he owes taxpayers. One person not doing that...
So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations.
...is Nashville DA Glenn Funk. The DA spokesperson tells News Channel 5, so far we have not received a complaint from anyone regarding that individual. There has to be some sort of corroborating evidence for us to move forward.
Guilty or not?
Guilty.
It's a very different stance from the situation with former Nashville Mayor Megan Barry. In that case, Funk himself asked the TBI to open an investigation the day after she admitted an affair with her police bodyguard.
If I'm given a job, and I do it, I don't understand really what the real issue is.
Ironically, the DA himself faced a TBI investigation over similar allegations after our investigation discovered that in the 2 months before he took office in 2014, he had a state job created for him to help him get state benefits and boost his state pension. As a favor?
Sure, it's a favor, and they expected me to do some work, and I did.
In fact, the Tennessee Attorney General concluded that Funk did, quote, virtually no work for the money. The DA paid the money back, and the AG decided not to prosecute. Now, in Michael Lotfy's case, the head of legislative administration estimates that based on what he noted when he went back and recreated his timesheets, he could end up owing taxpayers somewhere around $2,000. Tonight, he is blaming the Speaker's office for failing to document his time. Meanwhile, the political operative did have a state email for about 6 weeks. We asked to see that email, but we were told that consistent with the legislature's standard policy, his email account was disabled and completely deleted the same day that he resigned. Back to you.